Coach Kearns and the App State basketball program, their team and their players, coaching staff. It's a very good team and a good program, and respect them. They came in here and they did what they have to do to get a road win. Unfortunately, we put ourselves in a big hole in the first half, fought back. Obviously, in the second half, got it down to one several times as a one-possession game, including down by 1 point with the ball. And we're not able to get over the hump, particularly in the last 4 minutes, when we seem to not be able to finish the game the way we wanted to.
Coach, you mentioned it. 4:31 to go. Y'all down 3. Just what did you see kind of unfold down the stretch that allowed them to kind of pull away?
Well, any time that you are trying to come back from that kind of deficit that we put ourselves in the first half, and what happens, every play there's so much magnitude on every play. So you get, we designed some plays to get some looks, and they don't go in, and it continues to give energy to the other team, and they get an offensive rebound on the free throw, or they hit a 3 right after Jordan's finish in transition. And those plays, there's so much magnitude on them because you're fighting uphill the whole second half. I mean, you're coming out, and the reality is, that's how we want to play as a ball club, and you know that. You've been around, you've seen it. We want to be able to play with a pressure and a disruption, and I thought we did that in the second half and got our hands on basketballs and got out and ran, and were able to do that. But unfortunately, with the depth that we had in the second half, so I also think we definitely, and when I watch the film, I'll be able to confirm that or see other things, but there were definite plays, but without a doubt, I saw us run out of gas a little bit on both ends in the final. I think the intermediate timeout, it was a one-possession game, and we went in and talked about just trying to win every 4-minute segment down the stretch, starting the second half, and we did that up until that last 4 minutes.
Coach, did it feel like the biggest difference first, second half to get back into that?
Our ability to pressure and cause disruption, we had talked about that a lot, and I thought that obviously helped us get out, because we need transition. We're not a team that is going to sit in the half court right now with the way the roster is and just be able to continue to execute and hold the ball. We need transition, and our defense got our transition going, and that was a big part of the run. And then obviously you make some threes, and then all of that helps. So I thought that defensively, we only turned the ball over, I believe, 2 times in the second half. First half, we really struggled with turnovers. And then defensive rebounding, I think they had 9 in the first half and 3 in the second half. So we shored up. I thought that was the difference to start the game, to be honest, is we got stops. We were obviously very inept on offense, but we were getting stops. But they got offensive rebounds, and credit to them and credit to their bigs. They got offensive rebounds, and that really gave them momentum early in the game. And then our offense was really struggling, taking care of the basketball, shooting the basketball, and that fed into it as well as they got that big lead.
Coach, J. Shane Woodard went to the bench to start the second half. Was that just out of precaution in the second half, or?
No. I mean, we can't play with a lot of caution right now. He couldn't play. I mean, he was hurt. I don't know what happened. I haven't had a chance to meet with him or the doc yet, or our trainer. He got hurt, and he couldn't play. And every time he went out, he tried to come back in, and I wasn't sure. I just asked, can he go? And they said, yeah. And then I think when he went out that last time, he just couldn't go. And at halftime, they said he can't play. The combination of that and the early foul, I think Gio picked up 2 fouls in the first 90 seconds of the game. That definitely was impactful for us, but other guys have to step up, and unfortunately in the first half we weren't able to do that.
You mentioned the early fouls. Was that kind of the reason for going to the zone there? Was it just the fact that they weren't hitting threes and your zone forced a lot of missed shots?
No, we've been working on our zone, and as frustrating as to say, Jay's a big part of it. I mean, Jay's a big part of our zone. He gives us real length and athleticism, and we actually been very excited about our zone the last 3 days working on it. And it proved to be effective until Jennings hit a 3 in the left corner. He hit a 3, but when Jay went out, it was hard to do that. We can't play 4 guards without Jay the way we want to. We're not physical enough, or we don't have the size. Jay being in there, we can put him in there, and he can be that 4th guard, that point forward. But he obviously was not effective tonight because he got banged up very early.
How do you get more offense out of Corey and Bang? I mean, do you feel like they're just tentative right now because of the turnovers, maybe, like in the past, like maybe still trying to find it?
I don't think they're tentative.
Yeah.
I mean, probably still trying to find it. I mean, Corey took 5 threes. I mean, I don't think that's tentative. You know, we just got to stay in the gym working, continue film, work. They know we believe in them. They know that, Stephen, that they know we're confident in them. We work on it every day. They work in practice, and, it's the unfortunate transition sometimes of being able to come out and do it. And Isaiah made a big shot. Corey had an opportunity to hit a pretty big one, down 3, I believe it was. It was either 3 or 5, and we had we got a good look. But just continue to work. That's all you can do, is keep your head down and continue to coach them, work. They continue to keep their head down and try and block out all peripheral distraction and anything that could cause some of the things that you're talking about, any hesitation, any lack of anything that would just allow them to be their best version of themselves, and you continue to work.
Coach, Luke Davis hasn't had many minutes this season. Just talk about the impact he made right away tonight.
No, he made a great impact the whole night, and I think I said this after the last game, or two, the Maryland Eastern Shore game. I think the thing with Luke is that, once he gets fatigued, it's hard. Like that free throw offensive rebound. I don't know exactly what happened, but Luke gives such great energy. I love the way he plays, but not being able to, I just unfortunately Reed and Vito defensively, we weren't getting the same thing out of them, and so Luke has to go a longer stretch. We tried to mix and match that with zone to try and keep the guys a little bit, but again, you can look at the box score and you can see from a statistical standpoint and from a minute standpoint that it was tough to get what we needed to get, from our bench.
When you're going game to game right now and it's 10, maybe 11 healthy guys that you have, is it just a case of trying to find what works, in between games? How do you kind of go about it as a staff?
Yeah, it's a great point. You have to, I've been a part of one other season like this in my career, and where we lost 4 guys to the season on injuries. And you have to make these daily adjustments every single day. Like Reed didn't practice the 2 days leading into the Greensboro game. And it just seems to be constant with that right now. And what happens is you have to do a lot of more 4-on-4. You have to do a lot of more breakdown stuff, unfortunately. And nothing's wrong with that. But again, sometimes when you're minus numbers, and again, even players number 8 through 11, when you talk about 11 or 10 bodies in practice, those are guys that maybe don't play as much or walk-ons, things like that. And so, yeah, that daily prep definitely gets affected, but that's what we have to do. We have to find the best way. But without a doubt, what you said, it's definitely a day-to-day figuring out what you have out there and how you got to maximize that. We just got Jay back for the first time. We had him for 3 practices, 3 full practices. The first 3 full practices he's had since Georgia Southern, but prior to Georgia Southern, our opener. Because even prior to Greensboro, he didn't practice full. And, I'll see where his situation is, and we'll have to make the adjustment again.
Quick turnaround. You got a game on Sunday. What are you saying is a point of emphasis now as you guys prepare for that?
Well, we talked about in the locker room. First of all, we know how good Buffalo is. Buffalo is a heck of a team. I believe they're 8-1. I've seen them on TV just in watching, but I haven't had a chance to begin scouting on them. But they're a heck of a team. This is a really good team. And but we just talked about in there, what we talked about was the areas. Number one, we put ourselves in a big hole to start the game. Defensive rebounding, their offensive rebounding was a big thing, and offensively, just silly turnovers, just struggling handling the basketball, guards struggling handling the basketball. So we talked about that. And then in the second half, we talked about, hey, look, when we play the way we want to play, we've shown we can be successful and do some things and get out and play with the style that we all envisioned. And then we talked about the last 4 minutes. We didn't execute, whether that's fatigue or that's just not executing down the stretch, whatever it may be. And we just talked about where guys have to step up. And the biggest thing that we talked about was ball security and defensive rebounding in that locker room. And that's where we'll focus as we prepare for a very good Buffalo team.
Anything? Any update on Eli and when you expect to have him back?
No, I think it's going to be a while. I think Eli will be. We won't see Eli until conference play at some point, unfortunately.
Coach, I know moral victory is obviously not ideal, but with the second half response, do you guys take any confidence out of that? Just kind of the fight itself?
Well, Luke, that we've always talked about this, that I do believe this team has a lot of heart and has fight, and I believe this program does. It always has in all my time here and our time together. So do we have to build on that and look at it? I don't look at the fight necessarily as what would give us confidence, because I truly believe that's an expectation that our program has and that our players have, and I believe we've shown that in our time here. What we do have to look at is, okay, what were the things that worked during that stretch? You know, it was taking care of the basketball. It was getting hands-on basketball deflections on defense. It was being disruptive on defense. It was attacking the paint and playing off 2 feet. And again, 2 turnovers in the second half. The same team that turned us over 7 times in the first half. So they didn't change what they were doing. They were still man zone. We handled the zone. We were able to do what we wanted to zone. It's looking at those things and saying, hey, here's what we got to build on. So if that can give confidence, you know, hey, that's a positive, but not the part of, hey, we fought back and made it close. That's not what our program's about.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.